Okay, now since you've already watched Excel Part 1 for the hands-on exercise Part 1, you'll see that we're in exactly the same place as we left off last time. I just left this open so we could continue. For the next one, I'm going to close it and then show you how to open it. But anytime you want to just work all the way through all of the exercises at one time, you have to save it so that you have a copy of each one of the individual hands-on exercise files to turn in. But you don't have to close it all the time. So the first thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to click File, and I'm going to Save As, and I'm going to do just simply change this to HO2. You will be given the name in your hands-on exercises in the book as to exactly what the name should be for yours. Okay, so in this step, in this set of exercises, what we're going to do is we're going to fill in all of these blanks that we had left over here. Okay, so one thing you have to remember when you're working with spreadsheets, the data in them is the most important thing, so it has to be correct. Formatting and things that make it look pretty are great, but the data has to be correct. Okay, so we're in cell D7. Notice I have a D here, the 7 is yellow, and I also have it shown up here, so I know exactly where I'm at. I'm going to calculate my expenses. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the equals sign, and then I'm going to hit C7. Alright, and that's cell C7. And then I'm going to do Shift and H8, which is the multiplication sign, and I'm going to do 0.2. So our expenses are calculated at 20% of what we charge. Now, if I had made a mistake, I could hit Escape and it would all go away. So I want to show you some things that can go wrong when you're entering a formula this way. For example, if I type C7 times 0.2 without putting the equal sign in front of it, that's what I get. I don't get a number. That's because as soon as you start to type with a letter, if you don't have the equal sign in front of it, Excel assumes that you're entering something like, travel fee or something along those lines. It does not assume it is a formula, so it makes no effort to calculate it. Okay, so that's a mistake. There's several different things I can do. But because I'm trying to show you in this video how to do a variety of things, one of the things I can do is hold down the CTRL key and press Z. Control Z undoes. It's an undo. Undo is our friend. Anytime we make a mistake, we can Control Z. It will go away. Great thing. Alright, so let's go back here and let's type in the equals sign and the C7 times 0.2. Alright, now as I said before, we can hit the check mark if we want to stay in the cell, or we can press Control Enter. Alright, Control CTRL and Enter also leaves us in the same cell. Now, two things I want to point out to you here. This is called the formula bar. The formula bar will always show the formula that you typed in. Notice it says equals C7 times 0.02. Down here on the spreadsheet, you're getting the results of that formula. So what you have there is an 80. 20% of 400 is 80. So you can always see the formula and the value so that you can know what you're doing. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here to, what is it? Travel fees. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. Travel fees. Hang on a minute. Expenses, travel fee. Okay, I'm just checking my notes here to make sure I was in the right spot because there's something wrong on this. Okay. So we're going to leave travel fees. I think they have a heading wrong on my thing. Okay, that's all right. The next formula we want is going to be equal to C7 minus D7. Now there's another way to enter data. So I'm going to click on C7, and then I'm going to hit the minus key, and I'm going to click on D7. Now notice, each one of these cells, C7 and D7, have a colored box around them. The formulas in E, the formula in E, reflect the colors so that you always know what you're looking at. Again, when I do Control Enter, I see this as, this is actually the profit per week. I know what's going on here. Okay, so E is not supposed to be there. Okay, so we're going to hit delete. I'm going to show you how to delete a column that's not there. If I click up here at the top, notice when I go up here and I click on the E, it's completely highlighted the whole way down. So I simply come over here and I hit delete, delete column, and it's gone. Okay, now let's go ahead and put this in. So we're going to hit equals, and then we're going to hit C7, and the minus symbol is a hyphen, and that is E7, and then we'll hit Control Enter. So our profit per week is $320. So we have C7 minus D7. Profit is $320. All right. Now we're going to see if we add 5%. We want to see if we can create a 5% profit over the next year. Right. So our estimated profit, and again we're going to have to hit the equal sign. Our estimated profit is 5% more than $320. So to get that, what you do is you click on profit per week times 0.05. So this gives you 5% of 320. Now, if I hit enter right now, it's pretty obvious that that's not the estimated profit if we're including a 5% raise over 320. Okay, so now I'm going to press F2 so I can change this, and then I'm going to add the profit back in. So what did I do? I calculated the 5% increase, and then I added what the original profit was back in. Right? So the profit for that is going to be $336. Right? So I have gone up by 5%. Now, one of the nice things about this is that you don't have to enter each one of these formulas the way we just typed them in. That's the reason we use formulas. If I highlight all three of these, and then I point to this little box right here. It's a little box in the lower left-hand corner. And when you see it, you're going to get a black cross. And the black cross simply means it's a fill cross. So we're going to fill this down, and the formulas fill all the way down. Now, and they're all right. So if I look here, notice the original one we typed in was C7, and if I click here, this is C8, this is C9, so it's doing the right thing. This is C10, and this is C11. So it works fine all the way down, right? How can it? The formula we entered here is what's called a relative address. In other words, the C7 will adjust relative to the way you copy it. In this case, we copied it down a column, so the row numbers changed as we went down. The same thing is true here, C7 minus D7, C8 minus D8, etc., and here. Relative addressing allows you to quickly and easily fill out a spreadsheet like this with the formulas. It makes it very convenient and very simple. Alright, so why do we do this? Well, if we look at this, I'm sorry, I didn't know why I'd scrolled down there. Let's go ahead and save this, because I think you'll agree we've made significant changes to this package. So we're going to click the little disk up here in the left hand corner. Alright, now I'm going to go to right here in C7 and I'm going to change it. Apparently the package charge was different. Okay, now notice as soon as I make that change, the profit also changes. That's why you use spreadsheets, so that you can do this what if information. In addition to seeing the formula, or the I'll get out here in a minute, the formulas, that's where I want to be, up here, you can also see them down here in the spreadsheet. Directly to the left of the 1 key, that's the number 1, you'll see a key that has a squiggly line on it and then a backwards apostrophe. Right. If you hold down the control key and click that key, you will get your formulas displayed in your spreadsheet. Now that is an on-off key, so to turn them back off, you simply do the same thing again. Now, we are saving the workbook, and in this case we're going to say that we're going to stop. Okay? So I'm going to close the workbook. I can do this in several ways, but this time I'm just going to click on the red X over here on the Excel sheet. Now, that's the end of Hands-on Exercise 2 for Excel Chapter 1. I'll be back with Hands-on Exercise 3 in just a few moments.